As you may know already, Fallout 76's 21st season is on its way, coming to the Wasteland June 3rd, and Season 20 is on its way out. If you're like me, you've stockpiled all your tickets for the last minute to go on an insane shopping spree. But what should you grab? What won't ever be back again? Well, don't worry, we got you covered. Let's jump into it, and seriously, you'll definitely want to pay attention if you play as a ghoul, because there are so many must-have items for all ghoul players. Obviously, you'll want to grab all the season exclusive items, and what do I mean by that? Every season will have some items that are pretty much exclusive to it and will never be back. Think like the cremator, or the last pets that we got from the season and everything like that. Sure, obviously there are other pets in the game that you can get, but only through the Atomic Shop, so you could spend real money on them, or you could have gotten them completely free with the season, just a different skin. So I'll go over pretty much all of them, but you want to do this for every season. Season 20 isn't different, and again, it has a lot of must-have ghoul items, so let's talk about them right now. The first Season 20 exclusive I wanted to mention is a must-have for all ghouls. Like I said, there are so many, and it's the slime cake, because even ghouls want to party. This is basically just the ghoul birthday cake. It's just a birthday cake. But the ghoul slime cake slices still give +3 charisma for 90 minutes, which is kind of useless if you're a ghoul, considering you're probably going to be feral, or at least a good percentage of the player base is going to be feral, so your charisma is going to go way down. But I guess if you're not feral, then you could still benefit from this. However, though, the main benefit for a ghoul is it also gives +30 rads, so it's a really nice camp item to have for a ghoul starter build. I'm really good for any level. You just grab them and you quickly down them, and boom, you have some rads there. It'll save you some gamma gum ammo, and it will also save you some toxic goo. Now, speaking of toxic goo, that's the next thing I actually want to talk about. Up next, we have another ghoul must-have, and it's the toxic ghouler cooler, And if you couldn't tell, this bad boy slowly produces toxic goo. I know, toxic goo is extremely easy to get. It's actually ridiculously easy to get. You just pull up to West Tech and boom, bam, you're basically done. But if you don't want to go all the way to West Tech and lug around goo from there, you can rely on this bad boy to generate some automatically. I will say, though, it is kind of slow. However, you just throw this bad boy in your camp and you're ready to go. You can have an infinite amount of ghoul at your camp. This is really nice if you're a lower level player. You start a new build, you throw that on your camp, boom, you're already producing toxic goo, and you could get some of the benefits of the glow mechanic right off the bat. So slime cake and then the toxic ghoul or cooler, two must-have items for ghoul just to keep up your glow. Again, there are, I guess, more efficient and better ways to keep up your glow, but no one's going to complain about a free way to. Plus, these things are just tickets. You might as well just grab them. It will benefit you in the long run, I promise. Up next, we have an item that's not only beneficial for ghouls, but also all carnivores, and that's going to be the critter cooker. If you are a carnivore or a herbivore, you should always grab the food-producing camp items for whatever your diet is. Why wouldn't you want a bunch of random buffs at all times? You just pull up to your camp, you grab the food out of this thing, and then you just start munching down. Even if the food items aren't necessarily the best, or the buffs aren't the best, game-breaking buffs in the entire game, it's still free buffs. I don't know why you wouldn't want it. Now, with the critter cooker, it's not the best food buffs in the entire world. It's like rad roach meat and squirrel bits and that type of stuff. But again, why not get as many free buffs as you possibly can? If you have this and then the Deathclaw cooker or the Mirelurk steamer, you're basically gonna have most of the meat buffs in the entire game, especially if you have the canned meat still already in your stash from doing the event. But it's just really nice to have, especially again, ghoul or carnivore, two really nice ways just to get those extra food buffs. It just makes it a little easier. If you're a herbivore, you may want to start a new character who's a carnivore in the future, so I would still suggest grabbing this thing. Who knows? What it is. Herbivore is better for getting XP. However, though, on my ghoul character, I always run them as a carnivore, just because cannibal, and also I have so many like camp items that produce different types of meats. There's no reason not to benefit from it, and also I run a melee build on my ghoul, so the hound meat extra damage really comes in handy. But critter cooker, not a bad thing to grab. The next item is a huge win for all players, and it's going to be the Boneyard Planter Kit. It's a little bit late in the season, but it is a must-have for all players. Like I said, Ghoul or Smooth Skin, it doesn't matter. It's a huge reward. Basically, it's free plantable dirt tiles. If you want to take your farming to the next level, this is the item you're going after. Again, you basically just build this thing into your camp. You could surround your camp with them. You could put them in the back. It doesn't matter. It always looks really nice. And again, they are kind of level with most of the floors that you're going to place in the entire game, so you can just throw a couple of these in the center of your camp. Boom, you have a farm in your camp. There you go. I have these in my camp now. I have tested them a little bit personally. I love them. I think they're great, but you definitely should grab them if you want to save some gold in the future. Again, this is basically just a free version of the plantable dirt tiles, so if you don't have those, if you don't have your settler reputation maxed out, and you're not able to get them, this is going to be the next best thing. Again, they are kind of wonky at first. I'm sure they will update the mechanic overall. However, I still think it's a must-have, and it'll save you gold. Why not spend some tickets on it? And this thing probably will not be back. It may be back in the Atomic Shop and maybe with like a Halloween bundle, but I doubt it. I don't think this item will ever be back, so grab it now. Save yourself the gold. I also just wanted to throw in this super small one. It's just a super small exclusive. It's not really a must-have or a big deal. They don't add anything to the game, but it's going to be the player titles. Make sure you try and grab them. They're all super cheap, like I said, and they may never appear in the Atomic Shop again, so you don't want to miss out on a collectible when it only costs 10 tickets because you wanted to buy the radioactive drums for 40 tickets. Again, it's not a big deal at all. However, though, if you are trying to get everything in the game, player titles are something that probably will not appear in the Atomic Shop too much just because they don't really fit the theme of too many bundles, and also I don't think Bethesda could justify selling a player title for 250 atoms or whatever, so I don't think that they will be in the Atomic Shop anytime soon, or at least most of them won't. Maybe some of the more popular ones will, or some special ones that they put out, but just try and grab all the player titles, or maybe just go through and grab a couple of them, just because some of them are interesting. They're cool, they're all Ghoul themed, and again, they may never be back. Now, if you watched any of my other season must-buy videos, then you know I'm not really too big of a fan of buying armor skins with your season tickets. However, this is the first season I'm saying this is a must-have. It's too important. The armor looks so good. It's the radium paint. It's the best looking paint in the whole game for armor, without a doubt. I would also just throw the jetpack skin under this category. It looks cool, but not everyone uses a jetpack, so you'll have to make that choice. However, I do suggest, again, grab the radium paint for all the armor sets that you use, or at least, like I said, for the ones that you most primarily use. I grabbed the Thorns, I grabbed the Secret Service and the Civil Engineer and the Robot, just because, again, they look so good. Whatever armor I wear, I want to be able to throw this skin on them. It just looks beautiful. Don't waste your tickets on the radioactive drums when you could buy the Secret Service radium paint. It's just this awesome skull paint, and it glows. So many people have been wearing it in the Wasteland, and it just looks so good. And also, another cosmetic item that I just wanted to kind of add to this because it is a skin, it's going to be the Sharpshooter Power Armor Paint. Again, just a great looking armor set for any power armor user in the game. So if you don't use actual armor, or if you just because you're mainly in power armor, then I don't suggest you really buy the armor skins. I still actually do, because they'll never be back again, but you could justify not buying them. Just buy this Sharpshooter Power Armor Paint instead. Even if you don't use power armor normally, they may update the game to where power armor is the meta now, so you don't want to miss out. It looks really cool, and it's pretty cheap for all of the sets considering. I hope they do the same thing in the future for the armor, just because it would be really nice to only have to buy one thing of the armor for 150 tickets, and boom, then you have that skin for every single piece of armor in the game. I think they should do that. And then the final Season 20 must-have that I wanted to talk about are all of those beautiful weapon skins. The irradiated paint is probably the top 5 best looking skins in the game, without a doubt. If you really only use one weapon type, then maybe buy the paint for that weapon type. Like if you use heavy guns, definitely buy the Gatling skin or the 50 cal and skip the other ones. Personally, I'm grabbing all of them just because they look so damn good, and I have FOMO. I don't want to miss out on any of the weapon skins ever, because you never know when I'm going to use a Fat Man and I want to throw this paint on it. They don't make too much paint or too many skins for the Fat Man, so why not grab it when you can and celebrate the monumentous occasion. And again, that's going to be it for all of the Season 20 exclusives that you're going to want to get. We're going to move on to the next category, but these are just the ones that are most likely not to appear in the Atomic Shop again or in Fallout 76 again. So you may want to grab them now before you lose your chance, especially if your main character is a ghoul. Again, you want as many little buffs as you can for your ghoul, or if you're a carnivore, if you don't want to miss out on the weapon skins, just again, make sure you grab them. Again, they don't have too many skins for the Fat Man, so grab that weapon skin. You just don't want to miss out on all of this stuff that you're never going to be able to get again. So just grab it until June 3rd. So grab it while you can, really. Just try and grab realistically whatever items you won't be able to get your hands on. Again, you could get lunch boxes from many sources in the game. It doesn't just have to be from the season ticket rewards. Try and spend your tickets on something that you're never going to be able to get again. But there are a bunch of items that you should buy regardless, and we're going to move into them right now. And now, moving on to our next category, which is going to be the camp items. I do just want to lead with a little bit of a caution. Unlike the Season 20 exclusives like I just talked about, most camp items have made their way back into the Atomic Shop in a bundle or in a solo or anything like that, so just keep that in mind. They may be back and you may have wasted your season tickets on them, and you could have bought them for atoms or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. If you want to save your atoms more, then good for you, buy them with the season tickets. If you don't mind spending atoms, then maybe save your season tickets and don't buy anything on here. But there are a few camp items that I do suggest you to buy just because they stand out so much. Even if they bring them back later on, you don't want to miss out on them in case they don't. Now, like I said, all of the camp items are going to be pretty subjective, but I suggest every person grab those nice little statues of the Vault Boy and the Vault Girl, including the little miniature ones. Again, I really don't think the miniature ones will appear again in the Atomic Shop, but the larger ones might at some point, maybe in like a Vault Boy or Vault Girl like bundle or something like that. But I do think that these look awesome, and they only take concrete to craft, so it is really nice. And then next up, I suggest you grab all of the Ultrasight furniture, including the Ultrasight throne, lights, and then just the furniture set. They look pretty cool, and it's kind of the main theme of the season. But like I said earlier, these specific items might be back in the Atomic Shop as like a Ultrasight bundle or something like that. So just keep that in mind before you spend your hard-earned tickets on it. And this will take Ultrasight to craft, so it is going to be slightly more expensive if you're going to build it all around your base and everything. However, I do think that the Ultrasight lights and the throne look immaculate, so those two are kind of must-haves. The only other thrones in the game, in my opinion, are a little bit too large to actually have inside of your camp, so this one kind of fits perfectly. I also just wanted to quickly mention two camp items that I'm grabbing just because they look cool. First up is going to be the goo tub, which if you have the hot tub is going to be a perfect match, and it's just a nice way for any ghoul looking to relax. And like I said, I'm going to put it right next to my hot tub, have one for humans and have one for ghouls. Boom, it's a nice little hot tub party there. Now, and then the second camp item that I suggest you grab just because it's cool is going to be the movie projector. It has the glow of the ghoul projected on it. It's really cool. There are a few in the game, so it's just kind of a collection thing to have. Also, like I said, this one's ghoul themed. It's a really nice piece to add to collection, and it's also just kind of shows that you went through the entire season on top of all of the other things that you're grabbing too. However, you could put this in your camp, and it definitely will draw eyes, and it will be an attention starter. People probably will ask you how you get it, and you have to say, you can't get it anymore, you missed out, sorry, sucks, you should have completed Season 20. I also wanted to include a list of items you should get just scattered throughout the season to either make the grind for Season 21 smoother or just to improve your current character's standing. Again, these items are just sprinkled throughout the board. Grab them every single time you see them. They're helpful. You gotta buy items to make it to the end of the board anyway, so you might as well get some buffs out of it. Now, first up, in my opinion, most importantly, you'll obviously want to grab all of the atoms that you can. There's a bunch of them scattered throughout the season, and of course, it's free money. If you don't know, atoms atoms are used in the atomic shop, hence the name of the atomic shop. They are the currency of Fallout 76, and people actually spend real money on them. Now, this is the best way to get atoms if you're a free-to-play player, and if you are spending money on the game, you still should buy the atoms that you find throughout the scoreboard, just because it is free money. You are able to purchase skins or anything else that you need in the Wasteland or in the atomic shop with atoms. They're extremely useful, and they are literally money, so just buy them. No excuses, buy them. This is a must-have. No negotiable on this one. Just get the atoms. I also obviously wanted to mention the lunchboxes. They have to go on this list. No real explanation needed. You get more XP when you pop these bad boys. You'll be able to go through Season 21 even faster, and it'll save you either gold or atoms. And on the same level as lunchboxes, I wanted to add the score boost or the re-rollers following the lunchboxes again, just because they are so helpful. With the re-rollers, if you didn't know, you could potentially get an epic challenge on your dailies or on your weekly, which will lead to more score, thus pushing you further into the season. Same thing with score boost, again, kind of self-explanatory. You pop one of them and boom, you get extra score. You get 50% extra score, I believe, which again is super helpful if you're going to do all of your weeklies in one day. So you could just pop one of those, do all your weeklies within 24 hours, and then get a bunch of extra score. It's really nice. And now, perk coins. So many people forget about legendary perk coins. There are some scattered throughout the season, and they're so useful. You'll definitely want to grab all of the perk coins you see while going through the board if you're still working on leveling up your legendary perks. So it's helpful. I know I need them on a bunch of my characters, so I may go through the board on a couple of them and just grab the perk coins. And then obviously I lastly wanted to mention you should just grab all the free stuff you can get your hands on. Every season has a bunch of free stuff, a bunch of camp items, some atoms, maybe some score boost, or just stupid stuff like that. Grab every single one that you can, and then that's gonna really wrap up the list of everything that you should get during every single season before getting to the repeatable page that we're going to talk about next. But that's kind of it. Make sure you grab all the free stuff, perk coins, score boosters, re-rollers, the lunchboxes, and atoms, basically everything that's going to help your character in the future, or that will help you grind through the next season even faster. Like I said, we're going to talk about the repeatables that you should grab if you're past level 150 and you're wondering what repeat items you should spend your tickets on. Don't worry, in my opinion, there's really only a couple that are valid. Now, again, that's my opinion. If your character is working on something and if you need something off of that page, go ahead and buy it. Don't feel like you shouldn't purchase it because you're going to be wasting your tickets. The seasons come around every couple of months, so there will be always more chances to get some of those repeatable items. Now, the first one I want to talk about, I've already mentioned, and it's obviously going to be the atoms. It's free monies. If you are a free-to-play player, you should just spend your extra tickets on as many atoms as you possibly can because you're not getting that Fallout First bonus. So please make sure that you grab a bunch of atoms, or if like you're me, I personally like to split up my purchases in between atoms and then a few other things. So I mainly do 3 and I'll do even lots, or maybe I'll be more biased towards the atoms and get a couple more lots of atoms. And then the second item, in my opinion, that you should go for is going to be the modules. Like I mentioned earlier, it's getting pretty crazy to attach legendary effects to gear in terms of module cost. So you better have a bunch of mod boxes that you could scrap. If not, you're going to want to purchase some modules. Now, again, I know obviously there are easy ways to get modules, but I mean, why scrap your hard-earned mod boxes unless you are just farming the hell out of the raid, and then you obviously should just not pay attention to this and then just purchase as many atoms as you can because nothing is really going to help you in the game. You've beaten it, you're at the end game content, you don't really need anything else. However, for all of you normal players out there that are struggling, go ahead and get some modules. It's not going to be the worst idea in the entire world. Or really just grab whatever you need off of this board. It's meant to help you, so again, just grab whatever your character needs the most at the time. The options I listed above are just really helpful on basically all of my characters. Again, the atoms and the modules, you can never have too many modules. I constantly go through different mods on weapons for the videos and everything like that, so it helps. But like I said, the beauty of this last board is that you can get whatever the hell you need to help your character at that time. So if you don't need lunchboxes, don't grab lunchboxes. Don't need atoms, don't grab Adams. Or, even if you wanted to, go ahead and buy the mystery bobbleheads. Do whatever you want. It's Fallout and it's your tickets, not mine at the end of the day. I'm just here to tell you that you should probably spend your money on the Adams, not the mystery bobbleheads, but what do I know? Finally, I wanted to mention that you're going to want to have something to remember the season by, so make sure that you grab the free Stein or Steen, however the hell you pronounce it. I pronounce it Stein, so that's the way I'm going with it, but just make sure you purchase the free one that's associated with this season just to have as a trophy at your camp. I have all of mine. It's a nice way to remember all of the grinding that you did. I just suggest every single person grab this on every single season, so it just really, tracks how many seasons you've been through, and it also shows off a little bit at your camp because you have a hyper-inflated ego. I know you do. And it really, in my opinion, there are only 2 items that I suggest you stay away from, and it's going to be pretty easy to tell what they are. It's going to be the photo frames and the player icons. Nothing too shocking here. They're pretty useless items, and they'll probably be back in the Atomic Shop anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And you could also get them in the Fallout First catch-up bundles, so there's no real point in getting them during the season. If you want to get one, sure, go for it, but I mean, they're kind of a waste of tickets, and you definitely could have gotten a lot more bang for your buck instead of purchasing the photo frames and player icons. But again, it's Fallout, it's a free world, do whatever the hell you want with your tickets. Well, ladies and gents of the Wasteland, we made it to the end of another Fallout 76 video. I hope it helped you pick up some of the items that you missed during Season 20. What did you grab this season that you think was your best purchase? Let me know in the comments what you really liked. Personally, I really enjoy all of these skins this season. The weapon skins look amazing, the armor skeleton set looks awesome, and of course the power armor sharpshooter set looks amazing. It's becoming quickly one of my favorite power armor sets in the entire game. But as always, I appreciate you motherfuckers for watching this motherfucking video, and I'll see ya in the Wasteland for the next season.